What is up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans? Welcome into the show. Welcome into FanStream Sports. You can find us at fanstreamsports.com. The FanStream Sports mobile app for Apple and Android, as well as on your favorite podcast app, wherever that may be. Go give us a like, give us a share, give us a great review so other Bucs fans can find the show and beat those algorithms that try so hard to knock all of us down a notch or 20. How about that? We've had a few hours now to recap, to think about the loss, 26-7 to the Broncos at home, nonetheless. Bo Nix runs for a touchdown. Will Lutz kicks 4 field goals. The Broncos 26-7 over a listless Buccaneers team. Obviously, I'm all distraught here about it. Bo Nix still has not thrown his first NFL touchdown pass, but he did run one in. And so for now, he and the Broncos will have to settle for celebrating his first win in the NFL. And it came, of course, against Baker Mayfield and our Buccaneers. He was the 12th overall pick in this year's draft. He shrugged off a pair of losses here to begin the season. He ran for that early touchdown. He eliminated costly mistakes against the Bucs on Sunday, something that Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay could not do. Will Lutz had field goals of 43, 38, 33, and 43 for the Broncos, who were facing the prospect of starting 0-3 for the second straight year under Sean Payton. But, of course, the Bucs got in the way, and it didn't happen. Nix did complete 25 of 36 passes for 216 yards. He did not throw an interception. He had thrown 4 combined in the last 2 games, the first 2 games, of course, of the season. And the Denver defense did their part in supporting Nix. They sacked Baker Mayfield 7 times, intercepted him once to set up that first quarter touchdown. The Broncos also turned away 2 Tampa Bay possessions in Denver territory in the fourth quarter, of course, stopping one of the drive on turnover on downs, and they forced a fumble on the other. The Bucs now are at 2-1. They're looking to, they were looking to start the season with 3 consecutive wins for the first time since 2005, but they could only muster 223 total yards on offense. It was especially disappointing because it came on the heels of beating Detroit on the road the week before. We're thinking big things, right? Headed out of the Detroit game, headed in to meet the lowly Broncos. But this is the NFL. This is what we have this season. Nothing is predictable. Look at the Bucs' hated rival, the Saints, who looked unstoppable the first 2 weeks of the season, and they go in at home in the Superdome to the lowly Eagles and get beat. It looked horrible while they got beat, which is great for Bucs fans for sure. But it wasn't to be. Mayfield, 25 of 33 for 163 yards, including a 6-yard touchdown pass to Chris Godwin. And by the way, wow, does Baker Mayfield have a new favorite target? Chris Godwin out of the slot. Rookie Bucky Irving had a good game. He set up the touchdown with runs of 32 and 13 yards on that drive. In 20 drives, excluding at the end of the half, under Nix, the Broncos in the first 2 games, they had just 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals to go with 11 punts, 3 interceptions, 2 turnovers on downs. On Sunday, he got off to a much better start against the Bucs defense. He had completions of 22, 6, 31 yards in the first 3 plays to move the Broncos downfield after the opening kickoff. He finished the 6-play, 70-yard drive with a 3-yard touchdown. Later in the first quarter, Broncos turned Brandon Jones' interception and a 37-yard return on that pick to the Tampa Bay 9 into Jaleel McLaughlin's 1-yard scoring run for a 14-point lead that Lutz expanded to 17-0 with a 43-yard field goal a little bit later. And it was pretty much over at that point, right? I just felt like the Bucs didn't have any life in them. They had no juice. They had no will. They looked confused, overmatched, unprepared. And you hate to say that about a team who has looked so well prepared in the first 2 games of the season. Unless this was just a situation of grossly underestimating your opponent, which I can't think of any other excuse. And that comes down to coaching. I don't know any other explanation for it. But it's happening to a lot of teams. This is not just a slam on Bowles and the staff. This is happening to a lot of teams this season. Look what happened to Dallas against Baltimore at home on Sunday. That's the second straight game, the Cowboys. The Cowboys had a 16-game home winning streak over the past couple of seasons that ended with the playoff loss to the Packers last season. And now they've lost 3 in a row at home, including the playoff loss last year. So it is what it is. It's the NFL. The saying, any given Sunday, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't make it more or less ridiculous when something like this happens. And that's all I can think of. The Broncos now will prepare for the Jets as they will face the Jets at MetLife Stadium next Sunday. The Broncos will face the Jets at MetLife Stadium next Sunday. The Bucs host the Eagles in the rematch of the NFC wildcard matchup from last year, won by Tampa Bay. But the Eagles seem to be figuring some things out while the Buccaneers seem to be sort of losing whatever moxie they had to begin the season. So this will be a little bit more of an interesting one than it could have been, than it should have been on Sunday. We'll get into Eagles, Buccaneers as the week progresses here, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Buccaneers Daily Blitz. I'm IndyCar Tim. Find me on on X and on Threads at IndyCar Tim. Find me on Facebook. I'd love to friend you. I'd love to talk to you about the game. Leave us a comment here in the video section or just find me on social media and give me your thoughts about the Buccaneers' loss to the Broncos on Sunday. See if we can find a silver lining. I don't know about that. Anyway, we'll get into some more Buccaneers talk this season. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see ya.